All right, so excuse me. Yes, this is the one that we were talking about last time. So here they are asking you to write the pseudocode that corresponds to the logic given in the flow chart. Right, so how we are going to write the pseudocode for this? Right, so in the way we have learned that, let's write that down. Right, so we have to begin. Right, so after the begin, we have to say x equals 1. Then we are going to enter into the what? The iteration structure. So since it is iterating from the no path, we can use repeat. The repeat until part. So I can say display x at the next point, x equal x plus 2 can be given. And I can take until x larger than 100. So since it is iterating through the no path, I can take the same condition over here. And if you are trying to write it through a while loop, then it's going to be the problem. Right, we will try that as well. So after that, I can say the end. So likewise, I can write the pseudocode for the first, or like to the second part using the repeat until. If I'm trying to write it using the while loop, it is going to be the begin, x equals 1. Then, since we are like filling into the what you call the iteration, you better start the while if you are going to write it from the while. So while, and you can't use this same condition over here. You have to use complete opposite of it, because while condition or the while iteration happens when the condition is true. Right, so since this is iterating under the no path, yeah, that's it. It is almost correct, but see, there is a small mistake that you have done. I think the displaying part is missing. So I can say while x, the complete opposite is going to be less than or equal. Right, so maybe according to this algorithm, you may get the value if you say x less than 100. But taking a complete opposite of a condition means using the complete opposite operator accordingly. Right, so x less than or equal 100. Then we are going to display the x. And then you are going to say x equals x plus 2. right? Then you can end the while. Then you can say it is end. So that is going to be the pseudocode for the given flow chart. People, is that clear? Okay. All right. So the third part is asking, anyone who need to copy this down? Anyone? Okay. So let's go with the third part. State how to modify the given flow chart to display all even numbers from 1 to 100 inclusive. So it needs to see the even numbers. So what could be the suggestion, people? Yes? Tell me the answers that you have said. Yes, people? What is the place that we need to change to have the even numbers? Yes. Okay. Yes, Dinaka. That is correct. Hold on. Dinaka, there will be a problem. Ranudi, what you are saying is correct. Now, no. Udame, I'll come to you. Now, Dinelka, you have said x equals 0. If we put x equals 0 over here, the problem is it's going to display it at first. That means display in the x first. That means it's going to display 0. But here in the question, they are asking about display all even numbers from 1 to 100. So if it displays 0, then it's going to be a problem. Right? And what we can do is we can change this x equals to 2. So 2 will be displayed. It will be increased by another 2. So then 4 will be displayed. Likewise, it can go. Dinaka, is that clear? Right, great. And Udami, about your question. Udami is asking, can't they change the condition number remainder 2 equals 0? Now the problem is, if you put the number remainder 2 equals 0, so this is the only condition that they have, and that's it. Right? And that's it. And Udami has asked the same thing, I think. Yes. Right? So Udamya, for your question, we need an additional step to calculate the remainder, right? We can't do something like that. Right? They're asking what to be done to the existing flowchart, right? And again, that argument, that condition will lead you to the never ending loop. Because if you change the condition over here into like remainder equals 0 or like number percentage 2 equals 0, this condition will divide the number by 2 and consider whether it is 0 or not. Right? And this condition does not specify from where the iteration is going to stop. Now, according to the given condition, it is going to stop when the x is going bigger than 100. But according to your suggestion, either it is remainder equals 0 or it is number percentage 2 equals 0. So whatever the number it is given, it will check and will be increased. Right? It's not going to stop after 100. But according to our requirement, number should be in between 100 and 0, including those two. Udamyan, that's it. Did you get the point? Some communication issue has happened, people. Still does it. This doesn't give any clue to stop the iteration, does it? So like if you ask the question over here, if I remainder 2, so I think you have considered I as the the starting value of x, like as the x. So the one that is being increased is the x, or in your case it is I. So I will be increased. According to this particular flow chart, x will stop once it is been increased up to 100, or like goes beyond 100. But in your condition, it says I remainder 2 equals 0. So it will search whether it is a even number or not. But it won't stop. It will not stop. Do you get my point, does it? Right? Okay. But good people, you like it's good you think alternatives, right? All right, so that's the way that we are going to deal with these kind of questions. So very soon we will have a chance to deal with these things. So let's move to the new lesson today, people. It's the second one, and it is about the systems, right? And meanwhile, can I know the situation of the school now? Like, what is the like the lessons that they are carrying out for the moment? Mm-hmm. Yes, people. What's the lesson that the schools are carrying out? Chanuri? Yes. Yeah, Chanuri, but with your solution, like if you are not changing the fact that x is equals to 0 or x is equals to 2, it won't display the 2 as its first output, Buddha. Right? So the major change must happen. It is over here, x equals 2. Then only this will display 2. You are talking about the second one. Second one means like you're talking about the pseudocode. Okay. Oh, hold on. Let me see. Yes. Yes. Yeah, that's it. Yes. What you are saying is correct. Like if someone provide a floating point value, then it's going to be a problem. Yes, of course. So in that case, we have to consider that they are like they have to be maintained with the whole numbers, right? So, but in that case again, it's going to be a little bit complex if we are going to figure out whether it is a whole number or not. So that, of course, we have to go as an assumption, as assuming that the user is inputting the whole numbers, right? And in the other way around, does it? Now, if you think about the flowchart that we are discussing here, we are not taking anything from the user, right? There is no any statement saying like take a number or like take a value from the user and consider it as x. Here the x is being like set as a concrete value, right? It is said that the x is 1. So nothing is taken by the user. Did you get that? That's it. Right. Yeah, Udamya, of course, we can do what you are suggesting. That means like dividing x by 2 and taking the remainder. So we can determine whether it is an even or an odd, right? So like now there is no we don't really need to do that because it is not a random number that we are getting to. We are trying to display the value of the x. So x is set to be 1 over here. So we are just displaying it and increase it by 2. So what they are asking is like without changing the steps in this flow chart, that means without adding anything new or getting rid of any particular part, what is the way that you can change it to have even numbers? Right now, in your case, like assume that we have done the determining part, whether it is an even or odd. So that should be done over here, in this particular place, right? So when that is done, it's the only condition that we have. So if I write over here, as you say, like if I write over here, x remainder 2 equals 1 equals 0. So this particular condition is not behaving or like acting to stop the iteration at a certain point. It always iterates though. Again, අපි 100ටම නතර වෙන්නේ නැහැ නේ පුතේ. When the x is 100, it will be displayed and this will become 102, and then 102 remainder 2 equals 0. It is right. So then again displaying part will happen. In this case, this shouldn't be 0, this should be 1. Because no side they can unknown. Are you getting the point, Udamya? It's not going to end. All right, okay. But the conversation is very good, people. Keep it up, right? Nice, so.
But then how do we open this?
Wait, so I will help you. All right, so let's move to the new lesson. Yes, people, any more questions? Are we all set? All right, okay. Now, the new lesson, the second one, people, you haven't answered my question. How was the school situation? How is the school situation? What's the lesson that they are carrying out? Okay. Sasrika is doing the first lesson. So Udamya, you are finished with second and third before programming now. So nowadays you are doing programming, isn't it? Okay. Okay, Chanuri, the second lesson is done. So the pseudocode is going on. Okay. Any school other than the Udamyas who has reached the third lesson? Okay, so it seems to be everyone is going around with the first and the second. Okay, that's great. That's great. All right, let's do this. All right, here in this lesson, we are going to learn about what is the way that we can create a system, right? So creating a system is not an easy task or a quicker task, right? It will take some time, right? So first of all, they have given you the definition of an information system or like of a system, right? Here they have given a very short definition of the system. A system is a collection of components that are interact to achieve a specific task. So if you think about any system, it doesn't matter whether it is a computerized one or a normal one, you can find these particular qualities inside that system, right? So there are many different systems around you. right? If you take the human body, we can name many different systems inside it. Respiratory system, blood circulation system, digestive system, right? There are many. So each and every system, if you think about the respiratory system, what are the components that we have for the respiratory system? Yes, people, what are the components of the respiratory system? Okay, lungs, yes, does it? That is correct. What else? Nasal cavity, oh yes. Ah, yes, Udamya. Udamya, how we can pronounce it? It's trachea, right? I'm not really familiar with the scientific words, right? Okay, so majorly we have lungs, we have nasal cavities, right? And all this, the way that the air is moving from the nasal cavity to the lungs, right? Majorly those components. So are they interacting? They are interacting, right? All these things should work together, should interact. We can't think about the lungs separately, nasal cavity separately to do the breathing process, right? So all these components of a system should interact. And what is the specific task when it comes to the respiratory system? What should be the specific task of the respiratory system? Yes, what should be the major task? Yeah, that's it. I'm coming to that point. So the specific task of the respiratory system is like filtering the oxygen. Yes, to produce energy inside the cells. Yes, Udame, to produce the energy inside the cells, the lungs need to filter the oxygen and supply it to the blood. Then using the oxygen, they are going to do this energy production part. Yeah, Sastrika, this explanation will be there and you have to write exactly the same thing to acquire the marks, right? So as we discuss, if the respiratory system is a system, it has a particular components. They interact together to reach the specific task called filtering the oxygen from the air that we are breathing in. So likewise, you can apply this concept to any particular system that you can see. If you think about the school system, what are the components of the school system? Yes, Udamya, principal and the academic staff, as well as the non-academic staff, students, right? And are they interacting? Of course, that is the only thing that we are doing at the school, right? We always interact. What is the specific task? To create a knowledgeable person, right? So likewise, any system can be described, right? Can be defined with the definition that is being given here. As well as when it comes to any particular system, there is a common model that we can model them into, right? So this model work like this with these three basic components or the elements, which is the input, process, and output. So every system has an input, every system has one or more processors, and every system has output or outputs, right? So any particular system can be modeled into this particular place. So they have given some examples, like the examples like we talked about. And when it comes to the information system, the input is the data, and data will be processed inside the information system, and the information is the one which is being produced as an output, right? So information system can work to produce many different information, right? It doesn't matter whether it is a news, whether it is a report, whether it is any kind of a document, right? Data will be taken as an input, it will be processed, and the relevant output will be given as an information. Okay, people, is that clear? All right. So let's start writing of these things. So have the main heading, System Development Life Cycle. All right. Then under that, write the system definition as the very first point. All right, can we move? Are we done with the definition? Yes, everyone. Are we still writing or can we move forward? Only the highlighted part that you need to write, nothing else. Okay. Okay, Udamya, keep writing. All right. So moving forward, then you have to write this particular thing, basic element of a system, and these three elements plus the diagram. Let me know when you are done, people. Okay, one is done. How about others? Okay, I'll give you 2-3 minutes. Okay, are we done? Anyone who is still writing? Okay. Yeah, it's better we go with the example as well, people. Just one example, not the both. So go with the example too. Sasrika, මේ තරම් ලොකු වෙන එකක් නැහැ. හැබැයි නිතරම එන දෙයක් තමයි සිනාරියෝ එකක් දීලා they ask what are the inputs, what are the process, what are the outputs from the scenario. Scenario එකෙන්ම තෝරලා ලියන්න ඕනේ. ඒක ලේසි. Right, those kind of questions will be there. We will be practicing that with them. Let me know when you are done, people. All right, one is done. How about others? Anyone who is still writing? Okay, so moving forward, Let's write about the information system as well as draw this diagram. Yeah, as well as write this one as well. Then after, we are going to discuss about the manual system once you are done with this. Okay, one is done. How about others? Okay, anyone who is still writing? All right, so moving forward, now you know when it comes to the information systems, as the last line describes, there are manual information systems as well as computer-based information systems. Right now, we were discussing this in the grade 10, the database management system lesson as well, when it comes to the manual, when we are handling data manually, what kind of drawbacks that we are facing. So the same things goes with this. So the only difference is they are referring to an information system, right? So when it comes to the information system, we are specifically talking about information, right? So here they are talking about a manual student information system. So if a manual student information system is there, so they have to enter the data manually, right? So when they are entering the data manually, they have to write it down on a particular file or on a particular format or on a particular book. So they have to record each and every detail of the students, which will take so many times for you to do, because typing can be done rather faster than the writing, right? And since it is done by a man, there will be human errors, right? The spellings can be mistaken, the numbers can be mixed up, right? There are room for those kind of errors, right? If it is going to be a electronic one, we can set some of the rules to the software system to minimize the errors which is happened by the human, right? So if any particular error has happened, then an error message is given to the user. So as an example, if you are storing your NIC number in a manual system, so the NIC will be written by hand. So it generally has 12 digits. So in case if you miss a particular digit, that is that, right? It's not going to inform, no one is going to inform you that you have written the NIC number in an incorrect manner at that instant, right? Later, maybe someone is checking out for the NIC and then figure it out. There is a mistake which is done by this particular user. He has written only 11 digits instead of 12. So likewise, it can be revealed later, but at the instant that that the person is doing that mistake, will not be informed generally. But when it comes to the computerized system, we can set the particular system to check whether the user has input 12 numbers. If it is less than or more than, please give him a warning message or an error message saying what you have input is wrong, right? So likewise, the computerized system will help you to manage the errors, which will eventually help you to minimize the errors, right? And these are some processes that is going through the manual information system in case the principal requires a progress report of a student, right? So they have to find the particular name of the student and the relevant year. Then they have to find the index number of the student, then referring to the personal file according to the index number, then extract the required information from the relevant year file, and then prepare the report using that information. So which is time consuming. But if these things are inside a computerized system, we can save different kinds of formats for different kinds of reports. So it's just a matter of time where it takes to press a button, then the entire report is generated within seconds, right? අපිට fix කරලා තියන්න පුළුවන්. එයාගේ qualifications ටික හරියට line up වෙලා තියෙනවා නම් කවද්ද admit උනේ ස්කූල් එකට කවදද leave උනේ මොනවාද ඒ අතරතුරේ එයා කරලා තියෙන sports ඔහොම ලියලා තියෙනවා නම් ලියලා කියන්නේ අපි record කරලා තියෙනවා නම් electronic database system එකක. So it's just a matter of selecting the report format and generating it, right? Then it will be quickly generated. But when it comes to the manual system, we have to go through those kind of work one by one. And again, it's going to be a slower process. It will take time, which will eventually make the work inefficient. So when it comes to the computer-based information system, it is very easy to manage this thing, right? So because everything is computerized, there are searching facilities, there are updating facilities, deletion facilities, editing facilities, right? And you can apply security features for that as well, right? So there are many particular ways that the computer-based information system could help us over the manual information system. Right, and here what they have said is like the things that can be done by a library information system. So you don't need to be framed into that particular thing. So you just think what kind of things that we done using these particular the facilities which is given by the system, right? Okay, so the next one is talking about the comparison of the computer-based information system and the manual system. So as I told you, errors are minimal with data processed by a computer program. And when it comes to the manual system, since the data is manually processed, there is more room for errors. And the processing can be done very efficiently since it is a machine and the CPU and all these things are involved with this. But when it comes to the manual system, processing is very slow, right? And as well as large amount of data can be stored in a small physical surface. It is. We can, the very simple example is we can store ebooks of a library inside of one single desktop or one single machine. And to have those books physically inside the library, we need a very big space, right? Simple as that, right? And the last one, it says security can be ensured. As I told you, the username can be given, passwords can be given, access privileges can be set. There are numerous way of applying the security for information, the computer-based information system. But for a manual system, it's only the doors, cupboards, those kind of things that we have to use to provide a particular security. Okay, people, is that clear? Yes, everyone, is that clear? Okay, great. So let's get these things down. Since it is a theory lesson, we have little big contents to be written people. So have the subheading manual. It's better you say manual information system. Write this line as well, people. No, Sasrika, manual means doing it by hand. So we cannot have computers inside it. Okay, are we done? So after that one, it's better you write this. Yes, people, are we done? Lamai, are we done? Okay, anyone who is still writing? All right, so this is the things that we are going to write about this scenario: input, process, and output. Right? So regarding this scenario, you have to figure out what is input, what is process, and what is output. So write it down quickly. Let me know when you are done, right? All right, people, you can finish this thing at home. Please mark what you have, what you need to be done. So next week we are going to talk about what are the things that we need to do when we are like creating a system. There are several steps, and it is called the system development life cycle. So we are going to look into that and get to know what kind of things that we need to do. Right, so I'll see you on next week for the very same time. This is a small lesson, so hopefully we will be able to finish it up by next week. Right, so get ready, and I'm going to end the session from here. Right, I'll see you on next week for the very same time. Thank you very much, everyone. So please complete this at home. All right, mark it and complete it at home. Okay, everyone, have a very nice weekend. Thank you very much.